Welcome to Not All Business, a podcast by two former CEOs who went from competitors to friends. I'm Blakely Graham, and my co-host is Heather Cooper, and we're supervised by our producer, Clay Cornell, who clearly has his work cut out for him. This episode's sticky situation. Do you or do you not tell your boss when you have something going on in your personal life that might impact your work?
Not all business.
Heather, you want to do a lead story this week, or shall I do a lead story this week?
You're like, okay, let's banter. Go. All right, I'm on it.
It's so fucking hard.
So it was my kid's birthday. They were born, it's kind of good. They were born 3 days apart, but it's like all growing up. It's like you have not.
Oh, but different years.
Yes, my love. Different years. 2 years apart, in fact. Okay.
Got it.
So September 3rd, September 6th. Please don't steal their identity. Anyway, so I've always having to deal with like these back-to-back birthdays, birthday parties, da-da-da. They get older. It just comes down to money. So it's not as hard. But I was in my old photos looking through some stuff to do a post just, for each of them. And then started texting you in the middle. And then somehow we got about like high school photos. And then you sent me
The hair.
You sent me
The
a
big
beautiful one. Oh, yeah. So she sends me this picture. Hands down, you look exactly like Daryl Hannah. When she, Daryl Hannah, which a lot of our listeners probably don't know who Daryl Hannah is. So Daryl Hannah was beautiful, long, blonde hair, tall drink of water.
Still
she
is.
was in Splash. Is she? She's not dead.
I don't know.
I haven't seen her lately.
Isn't she married to Neil Young?
I thought she was like up in a tree protesting something. Like, didn't she go live in a tree for a few months? I don't know.
didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Now that's going to be our second thumbs down. Anyway, you look exactly like her. It blew my mind.
I don't know when that stopped, but my whole middle school through high school, I got that once, twice a week, all the time. And it was really nice to hear because I loved her in Splash. Like, it was great. But it stopped at some point. So I feel like at some point I aged out of Daryl Hannah. But I'm glad you saw it in that high school picture with the biggest hair. Like, was it the claw or the wave? I can't remember what that
I don't know.
picture had.
But it was beautiful. We'll put the link in the comments for everyone to see the photo. We should put that out there. We should.
My high
People
school
need to
boyfriend
know.
will love that.
Blakers. Oh, that's how it came out. Because
Yeah.
you didn't like that I called you Blakers last week. And that's because that was his nickname for you.
Yeah, only high school sweethearts can call me Blakers. He would be really offended if someone took that name. He wouldn't actually be offended at all. He's the sweetest guy on the planet Earth.
Do you still
Still
keep in
is.
touch? Do you still keep in touch with your ex-boyfriends?
Yeah.
Wow.
We invited them all to the wedding.
Stop it. Also,
Just a
them
few.
all. How many are we talking? How many are we talking?
We didn't invite my high school boyfriend to the wedding, but I should have because he is so great. He's so great. And has the same name as my current husband. Oh,
Wait, I just wanted to jump back in and say Daryl Hannah and Neil Young are married. They got married in 2018.
kidding me.
Okay.
And they live a very
Daryl Hannah is married to Neil Young?
Yeah.
No.
And they live a very private life in Canada. And they seem very happy.
Really? Well, pause to me Googling to see if Blakely did she age as well as Blakely? I need to see it.
Maybe.
Don't wait for me. I mean, I'm looking it up right now. Daryl?
Yes.
Yeah.
Daryl Hannah, American actress. Yeah, she looks great.
She looks great.
She looks a lot like you, and it's freaking me out.
I don't actually see it, which is the odd thing. But I think
You
it's
don't?
also like I don't actually hear your own voice until you hear your own voice type of thing. Do you know what I'm saying by that?
Yeah.
Well, it's a compliment, and I think that you should be a mermaid for Halloween. That's it.
Well, I've got the boobs.
Everybody sound off in the comments. Should Blakely go as Daryl Hannah for Halloween?
Well, you were going to do that, or you were going to do Ted Lasso, right? Because your husband looks like the reporter guy.
Trent Kim from the
From
Independent.
The Independent. He totally does. Oh,
He
that's
totally
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I was going to be Hannah Waddington, or the boss lady, and
Yes.
he was going to be Trent Kim. Mm-hmm. He's
Okay.
so good at that. We'll see. It's a little out of season right now. So if Ted Lasso's like reboot that's coming out is good, maybe we'll do that for Halloween.
I actually would recommend doing it this year while everyone still has like a nostalgic good like feeling about it. Don't wait till next year because you never know if it'll be like, I didn't really like them this season or whatever.
Clay, you ever have the cool advice. I'm so impressed.
Yeah, we care about your personal brand, even if you don't, Blakely. We're looking out for you. Here's a question for you. There's as a woman, there's 2 ways to go on any Halloween costume idea.
There's 3, but go ahead with your 2.
I'll start with my 2 and then see how you're going to add it in. You go funny, where you're not, or you go sexy.
Oh, no. I've been like training my daughter and her friends to stop with the sexy fairies or
I know.
the sexy bunnies.
The sexy clowns, whatever. I always went funny. I always went funny. Funny's so much better. Also,
so much better.
So much better. I did back in the day, Mary Catherine Gallagher. I did like just anything.
Wait, it's Pat?
It's not Pat. You're crossing it, but
Mary?
It is a Saturday Night Live character. It's Molly Shannon.
Okay.
This is before you were born.
I know who
she
Molly
would just
Shannon
do this,
is.
Like Catholic girl who was like super awkward, and she'd be like superstar.
Oh, okay.
Or like sometimes when I get nervous, I sort of
Yes. Okay. I know
that.
that. Yeah. I know that.
Yeah.
I just didn't know the character
Yeah.
name. That's great.
It is fun, but it's fun to go out and going out to the bars and stuff, and you're doing something that's fun and funny. So I preferred that. But
I
like
think
you
funny-
wanted to be sexy. Was that what you were saying?
No. Third option is you just do not do Halloween. I am
Boo.
out. I
Boo
tap
on the
out
third
of Halloween.
option.
I do not like that holiday. I do not like the pressure.
What?
I do not want to think about what to wear. Oh my gosh.
What
no.
what happened to you? What happened?
It's
to
my
3-year-old
mother's
Blakely?
favorite holiday.
Oh, Mama Blakely went too hard.
She went for real hard.
What'd she do?
She handmade every single costume I ever had. So
Aw.
like bless her for that.
That's
It's
sweet.
she takes birthdays and Halloween very, very seriously.
Did you get a
So-
choice in the costume? Was that the problem?
I think I got to say what it was and then she did it. I don't know. I think the bridge happened in the sexy years. I think it was college and all this
Because she
pressure
stopped
to
making
be-
she's like making your costumes. It's like,
Mom,
and you're
can
like,
I
Mom,
be a
shorter.
sexy pink lady?
Shorter.
Like, that's what we
Like, what?
No, thanks.
Okay, so then did you then pass that on to your kids where you did not do Halloween and they're deprived?
Yeah. We don't do a lot.
Okay.
What age do you stop trick or treating?
Wow.
What age
that's
do
a
you
very
stop
good
trick-or-treating?
Question.
Never.
But no, I am not. I do not like the huge groups of college age children coming with their pillowcases. Like, bring your orange pumpkin.
Your cute pocket. I get that. It is a little bit of a bummer. That said, 2 years ago, I did go Halloween caroling with a big group of friends, which is just another way to go around the neighborhood. We were caroling for candy.
Songs.
Yeah, what Halloween
wish-
songs?
Halloween.
Okay, well,
Halloween.
No,
Monster
let
Mash?
me sing it for you. We wish you a happy Halloween. We wish you a happy Halloween.
Stop.
Okay.
This podcast
you,
is over.
You improvise. You do
I
it.
was just about to say, Clay, let's like cut this whole stick.
I
hate
like
holidays.
it. We're coming up. You're such a Grinch.
I am a Grinch. I had a Grinchy
Okay.
week, Heather. I had a really Grinchy week.
What happened?
Do you ever have a feeling in your body when you know you're like pushing too hard? Like, how does it
Yes.
show up for you?
Yes.
Like, how?
Oh, you're
Tell me.
asking me?
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
My neck tenses
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. So I get my jaw
Lockjaw?
locks.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's really, really bad. And the worst I've ever had it lasted for like 3 months. And I had to have this woman, PT, she like put on this like thick rubber glove and she'd like stick her finger up inside my mouth and like release the jaw. It was so painful. And she had to do it for a full month, like a couple times a week until it released for good.
Jeez.
And so I'm just you can't eat. I can't have popcorn, which is what I eat every night. Like I just, it's awful. It's debilitating. And so just I kind of watch out for that and stress. And it was a hard week, and we can get into that because it all has to do with the podcast. And
geez, I'm sorry. I'm such a stressful thing in your life. All had to do with the podcast. Okay.
I'll tell you about that in a second.
Okay.
But I have something to share because I'm really, really excited about it. So like I'm doing everything right. Like when I'm stressed and I know it and the jaws start locking, I sleep. You can like check my Garmin. I got like a sleep score of 80 every night. I like go to the gym more times than not. I'm eating really well. I haven't had a single glass of wine since you were at my house and you made me drink 7 bottles. Like I'm like nailing it. And my jaw is like locked up. And so I'm like, what the fuck do I do? Like, what do I do? And so and I'm telling you the story because I think people will benefit from hearing this answer. Maybe a question mark. I'm not sure. But on Sunday, someone asked me to go to church. And Clay, I know what you're thinking. It's not the Church of God.
Okay.
Did you get healed?
Okay, what am I thinking? Okay.
She's like, Blakely went to church? That doesn't make any sense. I did not go to the Church of God, which I think would also work just as well for many, many people. But I went to the Church of Red Rocks, and I realized sitting there with 5,000 of my Bramley members, seeing Brandy Carlisle and all of her kindness and sweetness.
What's a Bramley? What kind of cult did you just join?
Okay.
This is the Church of Music is what you're getting at.
Church of Music.
Yeah.
And I sat there, and one of her songs was probably The Joke, because that's the song that brings tears to everyone's eyes every time. And I'm like, this is what I needed. So sometimes, I guess this is my PSA for everyone, because I didn't get home till midnight, and we're eating tailgating food, which is actually pretty good because my friends are great. But you can be doing everything right to completely regulate your body. But if you do not feed your soul, I think you can equally get out of whack. And so I just have to remember that, to feed my soul. Anyway, so I'm better. Monday morning, I woke up. Like, look.
Wow, that's a deep, big,
don't
wide.
Say anything perverted. That's
okay.
Gross.
Don't do this.
Okay. Well, that's
sometimes I just wanted to show you. I'll do that.
Okay. All right.
But it is because of the podcast, though.
That's awesome.
Well,
so
you found your thing. It's not pole dancing, it's concerts.
It's always been concerts, but I can't stay up late because I was so worried about regulation that I was sacrificing the soul part. I just like, that doesn't make sense. So whatever, stay up late, and know what your stressors are. So because I've been in therapy for 49 and a half years, I know now to look deeper into like what is causing it.
In your 60s? You look good. That is incredible. I knew you were older than me. I didn't realize.
We're going to celebrate the 50th anniversary of you going to therapy on the podcast.
Well, you realize my mom's a therapist. So like I came out of the womb into therapy. So like, let's just say.
I forgot that.
Regardless, here's the thing. You talked about it last week, like externally feedback's tough. And, but I'm not actually worried about that because I have Heather and Clay, and you guys are the reason I want to do this all the time. I love you so much. Like I think we'll get through external feedback, but it's like the internal shit that gets me. It is like the humble bragging. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing it.
We love it. Give the people what they want.
No, that's my inner child needing validation. I'm not today. I am not going to humble brag.
You're going to get so boring.
And then
we actually don't really like where this is going. Could you go back? Could you revert back?
Yeah. What am I going to have to make fun of anymore if you're just this like super solid, peaceful, well-balanced?
I want to grow too, Heather. I want to grow.
Being.
Then the other thing that I'm going to do today is I do not want to sound like a Midwestern Valley girl. Because I've never lived in the Midwest and I've never lived in the Valley.
What's wrong with the Midwest?
Nothing's wrong with the Midwest, as we have 3 Michiganders on the podcast today.
Just making sure you knew your audience. Go ahead.
I just want to speak slower and lower today.
Okay. Keep doing that. That gives me something to work with. Okay.
I'm going to get testosterone patches, but we'll see. All right.
Hey, don't hate against testosterone. It's important.
No, just be plucking out my chin hairs. Plucking.
Okay, I'm up. Okay, so new Blakely.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this.
It's a new Blakely.
That you saw Brandy Carlisle and that you went to the Church of Red Rocks. I've never been to Red Rocks and I've never seen Brandy Carlisle. So
You've never been to Red Rocks? What's wrong with you? You've come to Colorado so many times.
I know.
You're a musician.
I've had friends play there. I've had friends go there. It's and every time it comes up in conversation, I'm just the person who's like, I've never been there before, so I wouldn't.
No, it's true because even I went backstage with Gabe.
Humble brag. I passed my energy to you.
Oh,
you just humble bragged.
Oh my gosh. And I was looking really pretty that night, if I can recall. I just all of a sudden
as pretty as Daryl Hannah.
Humble brag.
This is an episode of Freaky Friday.
It was like 20 years after I was crowned homecoming queen. I'm trying to put
mother.
I'm just joking.
Whatever.
Anyway. Okay, we gotta get Molly. Like poor Molly.
Yeah, let's get Molly on the show.
She's got so much to add to this conversation. We need to bring her in on
another Michigander.
Yes, Blakely. Let's introduce our guest.
Our guest today is Molly Keveney. Molly is a corporate communications and marketing leader with 30 years of experience in CPG. Clay, I know you want to know what that means.
Yep.
It's consumer packaged goods. Okay.
Thank you.
She has worked, you guys, for a jaw-dropping list of brands. I'm just going to name a few. She's got Silk Soy Milk, Almond Milk, Horizon Organic, Earthbound Farm, Cliff Bar, Luna Bars. She has a bunch of brands under Mars. I think those were her pet food years. Those were all her in-house, but she's also worked with major clients like McDonald's, Anheuser-Busch, Tyson Foods, Tootsie Roll, Coors Brewing. You guys get the point. I could go on and
all I hear is like sponsor.
Yes.
Right?
That idea.
Let's talk about that. Okay. Connections. Yep.
She has been one of my closest friends for 20 years.
Okay.
And if we're really, really, really lucky, she may sing the taco song for us today.
Ooh,
I'm not sure.
Well, that sounds like a non-negotiable.
I know. Molly,
Okay.
Let's bring her on. Welcome to Not All Business. Hi, everyone. Blakely here. This episode of Not All Business is brought to you by yours truly, where strategist Cindy Fergard helps growth-minded leaders navigate pivotal moments with confidence. I worked with Cindy when I was CEO of TaskRay, and she's what I call a CEO whisperer. She helped us execute a complete brand pivot, boosted me up as a leader, and set us up to hit aggressive growth targets that led to our successful exit. Whether you've hit a growth plateau or you're evolving your company, maybe you're at a career crossroads, yours truly provides the strategic guidance you need, because what got you here won't always get you where you want to go. So sometimes you need a Cindy to help push you forward. Visit itsyourstruly.com and mention Not All Business for a complimentary strategy consultation. Okay, back to the show.
Well, I have to tell you, I don't know what the taco song is, but I'm sure you're going to jog my memory. But what I will say is I have also seen Brandy Carlisle at Red Rocks last year. Yeah, Clay, you definitely have to get to Red Rocks. It
Bucket
is
list.
Unbelievable venue.
So Molly, I feel like we should start with the taco song. Do you not taco?
Oh, taco burrito? What's that coming out of your Speedo? That one?
Yes.
That's an SNL. Okay, that's an SNL. Will Ferrell, Sherry O'Terry. Remember they were the cheerleaders?
Yes.
Yeah. And they would go to the offbeat events. Like they didn't go to the football game or the basketball game. They went to like the swim meet. So that's like taco, burrito. What's that coming out of your Speedo? Like that was,
I just love it when she does
and then
it.
like there's another one is they were outside of the Hickory Farms in the mall to drum up business during Christmas. So they were like, oh my God. They were like mentioning kinds of cheese. Oh God. And he says something about like Monterey Jack, hair on his back. I don't remember. But that was Sherry O'Terry was actually, anyway, they're hysterical together. I got it.
So good.
All right. Well, now we're going to get down to business. So Molly, you have spent 3 decades in like corporate comms and communications and building teams. Like I know all of our walks have been mostly about like leadership advice and like building out teams. And you're just so good at like the natural, organic culture piece. And I bet you it's not even natural and organic. I bet you are very thoughtful and pointed on how you build cultures. And so I guess, I don't know, just start with like what your passion is in the workplace and how you do what you do and how you create that magic. And
wow. Well, one of the things that I came to love in the work that I do in corporate communications is helping companies or brands define their purpose and also define their values. If you think of a purpose, it's all about, well, why does a company exist? And what kind of positive impact does it want to make with people or the world? And then when you think about values, that's really about core beliefs. Like how are you going to behave in the workplace? How are you going to make decisions? How are you going to treat each other as colleagues? And how are you going to treat partners and suppliers and vendors? And so why do we exist and how are we going to treat each other? And I think that I don't think there's any more like great work, at least in my line of work in terms of corporate communications. I don't think there's anything more exciting or fun to do or meaningful if you do it right.
Yeah, also and impossible, because I think like being on both sides of an acquisition throughout my career, I think that's one of the hardest things to do. When you have 2 companies coming together, there's a ton of uncertainty. Is there still going to be jobs for everybody on the other side of this? Who's coming in on top? Who's the acquirer? Who's being bought? What values? Like, is there a new set of values? Are we kind of now under their set and their vision? And that communication, it's not even just what's from the top, in my experience, as like what's put out there, like coming soon and here's what we're doing. It's what's behind the 5 minutes after the meeting, where it's like, okay, yes, but what really is that? And that's the stuff that spreads like wildfire, that if you're not getting in front of it and if you're not having the people bought in, like in those 5 minute after the meetings, you're so screwed, in my personal experience of just like containing that and staying ahead of it. So I'd love to hear how you, like at what level are you addressing when you're like coming in and you're saying, okay, let's all get on the same page here. Who's in the room? Who are you talking with? How's that getting disseminated to the rest of the group?
Sure. I mean, who's in the room? I mean, I've learned a lot where I've done a lot of things that didn't work and certainly some things that did. And I think that who's in the room, certainly the C-suite, they got to really believe it. And I think that that can be really where a company falls down is, they can plaster it all over the place or stick it in their social channels or whatever their purpose and their values are. But if the top folks aren't living them, that's where you really run into trouble. And I'm sure we all have amazing stories of when leaders fell down and didn't live the values. I know I've got plenty of those. But boy, it's magic when you get it right. And I think that some of the things I've learned is, don't tell the companies our cultures are totally compatible. Oh my God, our cultures are so similar. Every company I've worked for wants to say, oh my God, it's a meeting of these 2 companies that we share the same values. You don't.
It's nothing to do with money. Nothing.
No. Yeah, don't even waste, because nobody believes it and every company says it and it's just bullshit. So don't do that. Also, to your point, when an acquisition happens, it is not a merger of equals. One of those companies bought the other one.
Yep, let's
be honest about that. And the one that bought it is in the driver's seat.
Yep.
So it's never a merger of equals.
No, that's not the way the world works. I think being honest about that and acknowledging, this is going to change. Like this is going to feel different and it's going to feel bad even for a while, but here's the greater place of where we want to go, and being very clear about the employee's role in that, whether it exists or whether it doesn't or whether it's to be determined, but not promising something that you cannot deliver on, because in that tumultuous time, people need to have something to hold on to, and they get wind of it because they're all talking about the meetings, the one-on-ones that they've had. And so as soon as they see somebody else not get followed through, it undoes every other one-on-one you've had because they're like, oh, well, no, so-and-so was told this. That didn't happen. All of a sudden, you've lost it. So like being as upfront as possible and honest that of something you have control over and you can follow through is so critical.
I think you brought up another really good point, Heather, which is that, when an acquisition occurs, 99% of the time, people are going to lose their jobs. Some people.
Yeah.
And so to act like they're not, I've had companies say they're not. And I'm like, why are we saying that? Because I know I'm going to be coming out with messaging in short order that negates that. So, but you can be honest with employees as long as you think about that how well can we treat employees if there are some who have to exit? How can we make sure they maintain their dignity as they exit? And that is so important because for every employee who's staying at the company, they see that. There's the back channel conversations. To your point, the meeting after the meeting, oh my God, I could go on and on about that. I used to tell my teams that I'm like, do not walk out of here and have a second meeting. Let's just have it now.
That's so good.
So I do think, where I've helped companies do this really well is when they're really willing to be honest. And that can get touchy in terms of whether or not they're publicly traded and things like that. I think some of that stuff gets a little dicey. That's why there's some sensitivity around it. For sure.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I've never been part of a publicly traded one. So that's where my expertise stops. So I'm glad we have you on here for that reason. Neither have you, by the way, Blakely. So don't get that smile off your face right now. You're acting like, oh, well, have you? Your task grade didn't go public.
And I worked for Starbucks.
Owned? Oh, well, you were a barista. I'm not. Well,
I was not a barista, which is an okay job. Thank you. I was in operations.
We might need to cut that. You came out strong.
Well, but everyone at Starbucks.
How many coffees have you had this week? Did you make them?
No, I told you I'm eating healthy. I'm not allowed to have caffeine. Every Starbucks employee goes through barista training. I
have had 480 milligrams of caffeine already today. Oh, yeah. I don't think I'm done.
Totally. Also, back up on the caffeine's not healthy. Why is caffeine not healthy?
We don't need to go into my.
No, you scared me. No, we don't have to go on a back. You freaked me out because I was like, I didn't think caffeine on its own was not healthy.
For legal reasons, this is not a medical podcast. Caffeine is healthy for some people, and for some people, it is not. Okay.
For me, it's very healthy.
Now back to the show.
I'm just on a 2-week break. Thank you. All right. Molly, I'm really, just because I know from our walks, like you managed all those communications at the corporate level, at the acquisition level. You were like, I have to put down my coffee mug, tea. I'm drinking tea. You were like the puppet master, right? For like what was going to come out of your CEO's mouth to make that integration really work as well as it can work. But you also yourself, I know you were an incredible like people manager. And I'm just curious, what are like your top 3 practices or in connecting your team and how you value your team or showed value to your team or care for your team?
Sure. I mean,
you don't have to pick top 3, but I know you're really good at this.
Well, when I turned 40, and I'm a little bit older than that, when I turned 40, I don't know. I had a little, maybe you probably told me this on a walk. But anyway, I realized that I wanted to be able to show up as the same person everywhere I went. And I felt like there were places where I wasn't showing up as the same. I'll give an example. When I went into my church, I felt like I was a cafeteria church member. I picked some things that I believed in, and then there were other things I really didn't believe in. And when I went in the voting booth, I was voting for different things that the church I belonged to didn't, prescribe. So I started at that point, like saying, okay, wait a minute. When I walk into work and I walk into church and I walk into my home and I walk into the voting booth, I just want it all to be the same. I want to be the same person. I want to bring the same values. And so I'm going to park family over here for a second because I didn't really realize I wasn't doing it over there, but I started doing it in these other places. And so I actually, that was a few years after I got married. My husband was of a different faith. We were having kids. That's probably what actually caused the epiphany, is like, okay, how are we going to raise these kids?
Yeah,
and so
or no baptizing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we did get them baptized, but in a different faith, a faith that I felt more comfortable in. My husband had been a part of that faith. And so I was like, check, cool. Now I'm walking into work with the same values. I'm walking into my church with the same values. I'm walking into the voting booth, blah, 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 blah. You know, like I started just having this realization that I wanted my values to be the same everywhere. It was actually on a walk with you, Blakely, where we must have been talking about our kids. Because, and Blakely does know I care deeply about the people I work with, especially the people who are on the teams I get to lead. And Blakely said, what if you treated your kids the same way you treat your employees? Which is a little bit of a whoa, like that I don't know that it stung in the moment, but it stung later as I thought more about it. But it was such a pivotal piece of advice. No, don't apologize. It was amazing.
The reason I said that, though, and I'm remembering this conversation now, is Molly this goes to my question a few minutes ago. She would tell me these stories of like community building with her team, or gifts she would give her team on for birthdays, or a team member was having like a struggle at home, and how like she showed up to support one of her employees. And it was unbelievable. I had never in my life had a boss that genuinely cared and made their team feel as valued as Molly. And then at home, kids are flipping hard. And so I, again, didn't mean to sting. It was more of just like wow, your values are so strong. How do we bring that to family?
Yeah. I mean, it was awesome. And thank you for saying so many nice things. I do care deeply about the people that work with me or that I get to work with. And, I've done a lot of those things that Blakely mentioned. But I started to do them with my kids now. So, things like I'm a big fan of a handwritten note. I think it's a lost art nowadays. And with so many employees working remote, gosh, what if you pop that note in the mail and they got it at their house? Like that'd be such an unusual thing where you'd be the only boss they probably ever had who had done that. I had one of my direct reports. She was married, but she didn't have kids, no plans to have kids. And but she and her husband just obsessed over their dog. And one day that dog died. And this was before the pandemic when we were working from home. And I just said, don't come in the rest of the week, And we sent flowers to her, and, because she was losing a member of her family. Like we treated her the same way if she would have lost a close family member. Or, my love language is giving gifts. So I do a lot of gift giving. But I think the lesson, the work I love to do is making sure companies live by their purpose and their values. And I think what Blakely helped me realize is make sure you're living by your purpose and your values, in your personal life as well. And I think that's still an exploratory. I certainly don't have all the answers, but that piece of advice, what if you could treat your kids the way you treat your employees, really turned the light bulb on for me.
I would fire them immediately. There's for cause. But okay, no. Sorry, go ahead.
But sorry. I do handwritten notes to my kids now, or I can tell when they're having a really bad day, and I'll talk to them about what they get right and what they're doing right. Things like that.
Taking it back to the work piece of it, and I love this concept of bridging it and bringing that home and those values home. And so now popping it back across the net, how is that balance of taking your employee as their whole person, valuing them, living up to the company values, when you also have a board to answer to, a P&L that can get out of whack with one bad month, and how are you keeping your top line in check and we're still dealing with humans for all of our, for better or worse.
And what does P&L mean? Sorry.
Profit and loss statement. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, those demands, that's what can derail a company big time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like, I remember within a week before an earnings call, we were trying to determine if we needed to recall a product.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, the company I worked for at the time always had the right conversations and frankly made the right decisions. And
was it the Thigh Master? I remember when that was going to get recalled. And I was just, because it was like...
Suzanne Summers?
Yeah, the Thigh Master. And it was like pinching people and it was like flying out of their legs and hitting them in the face.
I have to say, out of all the brands I've worked on, I mean, to be able to define the purpose of the Thigh Master, that would be pretty friggin' awesome.
I know it would be, right?
Oh my God. I mean, Suzanne Summers, did anybody else watch Three's Company? What was not to love about her?
Yes, absolutely. We all
oh
wanted
my
this
gosh.
show.
But anyway, the good news was we didn't have to recall the product. But it was a big debate because we knew that if we had to recall that product, I mean, it was legitimate that we didn't need to do it. We did all the due diligence and did not need to recall the product. It was safe. Yeah. But you can imagine the conversation we were having in the room. Mm-hmm. Earnings would have been below forecast. Show, right?
Right.
Because it definitely would have impacted the stock. But thankfully, in that instance, that company remained true to its purpose.
Is there ever a time where those things are like opposite of each other, where it's like, okay, so we're faced with this, and then the value is opposite of the action that needs to be taken? And how, as leaders, are you communicating that? Are you acknowledging it and saying, I know this doesn't feel like teamwork, or I know this doesn't feel like quality, or, whatever those kind of posted values may be, if the decisions and the actions that are going to be forthcoming are feeling opposite toward that, how do they communicate it, own it?
I don't know that I've ever been I'd have to really think hard, Heather, about whether or not I've been in a situation where I prepared a leader to say, hey, here's an example of where we're not going to be able to live a value. And here's why. But I've certainly been in situations where they've touted those values, and then in their own leadership behaviors certainly haven't lived up to them. I mean, my God, we all have that fun story to tell, right?
Do you have one specifically that you can share with us?
I have a spectacular one.
Ooh, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Bring it. Yeah.
So, and when it happens to you as an employee, but your job happens to be to make sure it doesn't happen, like it's like, kind of double whammy. So anyway, I had, so this was fairly along the post acquisition timeline. I was feeling a little bit more settled and comfortable. The head of HR, who was with the company, I'd worked with that person for 10 years at another one. So I had a really trusting relationship with that function. And as you can imagine, communications and HR work really closely together at companies. And I unfortunately had a very tragic situation happen in my family. And it was so jarring that I wasn't really sure. I had no idea how it was going to unfold. I had no idea how long my husband and I were going to be managing this tragedy together in our family. And we were fielding, it was over the Christmas holiday break. We were fielding calls pretty continuously from hospital and experts, doctors, etc. And I just didn't really know how that was going to impact my work or if it was going to impact it. So I went to the head of HR that I said I really trusted. I still trust her today. And I said, hey, this is what's going on. And she said all the right things, and she was super supportive, and she still is today. And I said, should I tell the CEO? Because I was reporting to the CEO at the time. And she said, yeah, I think you can trust the CEO. I think you can do that. I think you should tell that person. And so I did, because I wasn't sure how my work might be impacted by it. And so I shared, pardon?
No, yeah, that sounds like the right thing to do.
So I shared it with the CEO, and the CEO said all the right things. We're going to be here for you. Oh my gosh. Whatever you need. And then even went on and told me a similar story that she was aware of that one of her friends had gone through. And so she's just very empathetic.
Yeah.
And it was great. A month later, that CEO asked me to join this pretty rigorous leadership training and development program that I was flattered to be asked to participate in. But I was like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh my God, did you not just hear what I can't take this on.
Had you been working that whole month from the time that first conversation and you were just working like scaled back a little bit, or?
I was still showing up 100%.
You were still showing up.
I just knew that I had an out
Molly.
if I,
so hard.
you know, I just knew that I had, you know.
And like, I don't care how flattering it is. You do not pile on it doesn't matter what an honor it is. You do not pile on something of that magnitude to someone's plate.
Right. Knowing what they're going through. Right.
And you have to kind of appreciate, and you guys do, I think, like when you're the company that's being acquired, and at least it was pretty clear in this culture, this acquiring culture, we weren't allowed to say no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that, I should have known better and pushed back. But I'm the only breadwinner for my family. At the time, I was the only breadwinner. I was the only reason we had healthcare. So, there was some pressure there, right? And the situation we were going through as a family involved health. And so healthcare was really, really important. Anyway. Wow. So leadership thing gets piled on, and I do it even though it's at 6:30 in the morning, and blah, blah, blah. Well, then fast forward, I'm in the program. It seems to be going well. Fast forward to my mid-year review, which was only 3 or 4 months after I started the leadership program. Mm-hmm. And the CEO had a dual role at that point of CMO and CEO, and was thrilled when she brought in a CMO. So now she was going to just get to go to her CEO duties, and I was going to start to report to this CMO. Mm-hmm. We get into the mid-year conversation. This is really my first exposure to my new boss. So I've got CEO, CMO. They're giving me my mid-year, and the CEO just tore into me.
In front of and Chief Marketing Officer, Clay, by the way. So the CEO tore into you in front of the CMO?
In front of my brand new boss. What have you been doing?
Wow.
You're not getting anything done.
Wow.
Et cetera, et cetera. So feedback I never really had heard before, but it was also within the context of like, I've had a pretty significant tragedy occur.
Yeah. Was you blindsided by this? That you didn't feel it coming in like Slack messages or emails or anything?
No, I mean, I wasn't excited about my own performance, but I didn't feel like I was going to get whopped upside the head, and certainly not in front of my brand new boss. Like that was my boss's first impression of me.
Yeah.
And what boss surprises someone on a performance review?
That's 101. That's such amateur. Yes. That's so amateur, right? Like, of course not. Yeah. And if you had an employee who's going through a tough time and they have the guts and the vulnerability and, are vulnerable enough to come and tell you that, then if you felt like their performance was slipping, wouldn't you go to them and say, my gosh, Heather, are you okay? I've noticed
100%.
I've noticed ABCD is going on. Does that have to do with what we talked about in February? Like, are you okay? Like, that's what a values-based leader... And you would do it
immediately. You would do it. You would do it within a week of noticing that, or like anything that was off, or it was like, okay, well, this behavior is a little different. What's going on there? Let me check in. Let me make sure that there's not some overloaded situation here, that something else hasn't happened, that Molly hasn't felt comfortable to come talk to me. Like checking in and actually giving a shit instead of waiting until your performance review. That's a side note with performance reviews. I look at them as an opportunity for the employee to review me as a leader, the company as a whole. What questions do you have? What process gaps do you see? Because if it's just limited to their performance, then I shouldn't be waiting a year or even 6 months to get around to it. I should be calling it out, if required, putting them on a performance improvement plan or something to like get to the bottom of that performance, whether to help it succeed or usher them out of the organization and give them another opportunity for something that's a better fit. But to surprise you with that, knowing with what you've been through, that must have been crushing.
It's pretty defeating. Not only did I feel defeated personally as a single employee in that moment. But of course, I'm feeling like this company doesn't mean this stuff.
Right.
Like, give me a break.
This is all talk. They're not demonstrating it at all. Wow, when I asked for a story, I didn't realize it'd be a personal one. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Well,
so what happened?
Well, I mean, so interestingly enough, I did think, did she, maybe she forgot all about that conversation. It was 6 months prior. Maybe she forgot all about it.
God bless you for your like codependent thinking of like, well, maybe it wasn't her. Maybe she did mean to do better.
Honestly, a lot of times this kind of stuff, we can get wrapped around the axle on this, but a lot of times it really doesn't have anything to do with us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, I took it so personally. But then, so fast forward a couple months, I was delivering a presentation to her and a new head of HR. So my 10-year pal, she split, she's out, got a new head of HR, my boss, the CFO, and I do this presentation. We walk out afterwards, we're in the break room, and this is the first time she brought the issue up, not of my performance review, but the one I told her about. That was the tragic personal situation I was going through with my family.
Yeah.
I thought she may have forgotten all about it, but we were in the break room and she says, "How's your daughter?" And I looked at her and I said, "She's doing much better. I wasn't sure if you remembered."
Good response. Good
for
for
you.
You.
And
she wasn't acting like she remembered.
Yeah. And so anyway, fast forward another month and a half, I got severed and I got a severance package out and it was glorious.
Amen. Thank goodness. Which I got to ask, the follow-up question to that is.
That still pisses me off though. Oh, don't skip over. Like, I don't like that she got severed.
No, you don't like that she got severed. But I think there's a lesson in here, which is, especially under acquisition conditions, when the values no longer match up with your values, how long do you stay? Because you are either going to get severed or you are going to quit at some point. Because
that's true.
I don't know, Molly, you tell me, like, how long would you recommend someone?
It's exactly right. Because that wasn't the way I wanted to go out. But it gave me an opportunity to rebound in the way that I wanted to rebound and continue in the way I wanted to continue. And now I'm actually, doing contract consulting work for companies who want to define their purpose and their values and figure out how to live them.
That feels good.
That feels really good.
And it feels aligned. Like I did just bite your head off, Blakely, and I thought I was, vindicated, but you're right.
Oh, you're really mean, actually. A really mean human.
Well, I had a rough day. I already told you about it. But anyway, okay. Molly, this is so good. Thank you for laying that all out for us. So just like, how would you, for everything you've been through in this, how would you tie it up? Like when you're looking back on this, how does that all come together for you?
So one of the things that I think historically, and Blakely, you and I talked about this a little bit, but I think I put a little bow around it. Historically, I think that people have had to keep their work lives and their personal lives very separate. I remember my dad when, growing up, he turned down a job from Grand Rapids, Michigan, Heather, to New York City, working for a New York day, working for one of the papers in New York. He turned it down because he said, "I'm a family man." And so that, there was definitely a division of work, family.
Yeah.
Then as women, we grow up and we went through this whole period of like, okay, I need to figure out how to balance work and life. And like, there is no balance. We're never balanced. We're hair on fire. Then you heard people say, well, you can have it all. You just can't have it all at once, And then the pandemic hit, right? Then the pandemic hits and we're all mashed together. The kids are going to school at the same place you're working, at the same place your husband's working, and you have no choice but it all to be together and messy and mashed up. And so now that there's I feel like what's happening is there was a real, I think a genuine understanding during the pandemic that we were throwing in a load of laundry while we're hopping on the call, and then
there's an acceptance of it.
There was an acceptance of it.
Yeah.
And now that even though a lot of people are working remote still, there are many companies that are calling people back. And I think that what's happening now is you're seeing that separation again. And I think no matter where you work, you can't separate this anymore, and we shouldn't. And that there should be this connectivity between, right, our personal values and our work values, and they should be aligned, and that's okay, and that's good. So anyway, that's how I would tie this sucker up in a bow.
So we're throwing out.
I agree.
We're throwing out work-life balance. Like you're saying, we're bringing in work-life integration.
This generation is demanding it. Like regardless of what we want or how we think, like they're coming in this and they're demanding it.
I think that I do too. I think work-life integration is about the best way that I can think of to describe it. I don't love those words. I wish there was a different way to describe it, just because I don't like.
You're the head
integration.
of communications.
I know. I got to work on it. But like, definitely. But if there's, we shouldn't have that separation. And at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, and we're done, and maybe someone generous enough decides to throw a retirement party for us, no one is going to give two shits, or you're not going to care about, oh my God, somebody brought up this amazing project I worked on, or they're going to be like, Molly, you were a great boss because you remembered my kids' names. I had a single mom who worked on my team once, and her daughter got into college, and the next day I had a gift for her, which was a university sweatshirt for her kid, because she was so proud of her daughter, and like that meant everything to her. And so work and it wasn't separate for her. She was talking about where her kid was going to go to school. That was a big damn deal. Let's celebrate where your kid's going to school.
I love that you did that.
I do too. Well, it goes back to the thing about people don't remember about maybe your name or what you've done, but they remember how you made them feel. And it's more of a sense, and it's a connection. And so that is possible in your personal life. It's possible at work, and it's beyond just taking interest in how they're performing at their job, but in who they are and what's important to them. That's what makes a great leader.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I'm a great leader, but I do think that
you are.
I think that this integration of values at work and at home, I just think we need to make sure as a society that we recognize that is definitely what the younger incoming workforce wants, and we need to deliver it for sure.
Before we wrap up, I just have this idea I want to run past you guys. How every time you go to a new company, Molly, you spend like a week-long seminar with the executive team, and you define your purpose, mission, and values. What if we did that at home?
I can't believe I haven't done it. Okay, I can't believe you haven't done it, because that is such a Blakely thing to do. Like, I could see you with a whiteboard in your family in your living room. First of all, I can absolutely.
You've done it, Heather?
I already did it and have done it since my kids were really little. So anyway, the
humble brags really are coming over to you. The humble brags.
They are. It's like pouring off of me right now.
We don't need to listen to any more of that bragging today, but we are going to get that into a future episode.
Yes, we can get into it later.
I think that would be so cool. Anyway, all right, Heather, take us home.
You know what? Honestly, I don't think anybody could have done a better job than Molly in summing up what we discussed today. I think you just did a great job of summing that up, Molly, about the inner workings and the opportunity in front of us that we have to accept the personal and the work as integrated, and start to look at our employees as humans and all of the messy things that come with that, and bring those a little bit closer together, instead of, as we are all raised and conditioned to have that separation between work and our personal lives. I just don't think that we are in a world anymore where that is a reasonable ask. And so I think we need to brainstorm and get together and figure out how are we going to bring in these next generations that are growing up and demanding more of a balance. And so thank you so much for sharing. Before we let you go, we do ask a question of all of our guests, and we answer it too. So the question is, what brought a smile to your face this week?
Oh my gosh.
So while you're thinking, we can, Blakely.
Yeah,
I
go
think
first.
I know yours. Yeah.
What? Is it the Bramley?
Yeah. I mean,
yes, it is the Bramley, but specifically, Brandy Carlisle is known for her ballads. And they're gorgeous. Like her voice, it's stunning. But she played some new music and she had a rock song. I was like, this is so cool. Like she had a rock song and it was the Stick It to the Man rock song. So
yeah. What's it called? Is it called Stick It to the Man?
Church and State. Church and State.
Oh, wow. Okay. You've
It's
said
good.
church like 4 times on this episode. I'm just going to say it's rocking my world.
Feeling a little spiritual.
Okay. You go, girl. Mine was it was a smile through tears. Oh, that reminds me of Steel Magnolias. Laughter through tears is my favorite emotion. Anyway, my daughter left for Thailand. How dare she, for 3 months for semester abroad. And so took her to the airport and got her through with her oversized baggage. It was a whole thing. And then we were at the security gate and we hugged. And then it's like, then the tears started coming because we were all happy. And then it was just like, oh, this is that moment. And then she walked away. She turned around. She walked away. And she walked about like 3 or 4 steps. And then she came back and then she gave me another hug. She said, I want one more. And then hugged her for a little bit. Now I'm sobbing like an idiot. And then she walked off into security. And so it was sweet.
That is sweet.
Oh, that was a sweet smile.
Yeah, it was. Clay, you're on mute. I don't know if you're sharing.
Okay, that's a doc for producer points right there. That's like ooh, put him on a PIP. He doesn't even know what PIP stands for.
Loser.
That is performance improvement plan. You'll be getting that on your performance review.
Okay. You are still on mute,
You're
buddy.
still on mute,
I'm
man.
sorry to tell you. I'm going to let Molly go.
Wait, how about now?
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, it was actually a glitch in the system. It wasn't me, but I still accept full responsibility.
That's what they all say.
As part of
Are
my.
you living your values by lying?
Okay, are you living your values by accusing me of lying? Actually, you kind of are.
Touche.
Okay, sorry.
What was it?
What I was gonna say is that when you texted us, I thought she was just going home, and you were like, "Oh, I'm so sad she's going home." It was like 3 months. I had no idea. I didn't respond the way I should have.
Oh, when I texted you my ugly cry face out of the airport. Yeah, it was that moment.
Sorry.
I know. It was brutal. All right. Do you want to go next or shall we let Molly go?
Oh, let's get mine out of the way.
Okay.
But I am glad that Molly is here for this because she is a former Michigander. And the thing that brought a smile to my face, all Michiganders point to where they're, we can point to where we're from.
Yeah.
Blakely, do you feel left out?
No, I do.
Okay.
You should. Okay.
This past Sunday, my favorite sports team, the Detroit Lions, took the field in their first season game of the year. And why would that bring a smile to your face? I was heartbroken and I was just like, what? I thought we were going to be way better than this. I was really more hopeful for the new offensive coordinator. Okay, spoiler alert, we lose and we did not look good.
Bad.
But
yes,
I'm talking about the moment when they take the field. And I'm so psyched. I mean, I have been waiting for months for this.
I know, me too.
And obviously the smile turned into basically tears and like sadness, but I was just like so happy. I've been waiting for this moment for so long. My son is sitting next to me. He's got his Lion shirt on. I've got my
the one you made?
No, I'm still working on that one. I had to push that project. I'm working on a little project.
Okay.
But we're just like sitting there and I'm like, I've been waiting for this moment for so long and now it's here. And I'm like, nothing else is happening right now. This is the only thing. And it made me very happy. Anyway, I thought you might appreciate that, Molly, as a former, once a Michigander, always a Michigander. But
I mean, that is such an amazing segue because my dad, he's deceased, but my dad was a huge Lions fan. And it just takes so much to be a Lions fan that he had a fake sponge brick. I mean, it looked like a real brick, but it was fake.
Yeah.
And he had it My brother gave it to him so he could throw it at the TV during Lions games.
God bless him. What's his name?
That's amazing.
What's your dad's name?
Well, it was Bob Keveney.
Bob.
But
also a newspaper reporter.
Also a newspaper man his whole life or his whole career. But what brought a smile to my face is as we were talking about, being able that there's, having no separation between work and personal values. I couldn't help but think of my dad in a number of cases because he was he lived his life so true to his values. And this idea of like, I'm a family man. I mean, he really was a family man. So that brought a real huge smile to my face, and just being able to reminisce and think about the things I learned from him. It was awesome. And it's only Tuesday or Thursday or whatever day it is. It's
well,
Tuesday
imagine,
that we're taping.
I mean, you would have had to be a Jets fan or something. Like, I don't know. But he gave you the gift of being a Lions fan by staying put.
He did give me that gift.
Thanks, Bob.
I don't have the sponge brick, though. I need the
that is
SpongeBob. SpongeBob. I love this.
Oh my God.
All right.
Because this was so much fun.
Oh, so glad to have you on.
Bye, Molly.
Thank you
so much.
Bye, Heather.
Thanks for coming on. Bye.
Bye, guys.